one?
No, one before that.
I love the aeroplane in the background.
Can you hear it?
No. Okay, cool. Well, firstly, Mo, introduce yourself and what you do and where you live.
I'm Moana Hope. Most people know me as Mo. I do one of many things. First of all, I work full-time as running a traffic management company. I also play in the AFLW for North Melbourne Football Club, and one would say I'm a massive family lover, so I take care of all my family, in particular one who I'm full-time care of my disabled sister Lavinia.
Fantastic. Let's do that one more time. So introduce yourself and what you do. And mention Glenroy.
Absolutely. I'm Moana Hope. I grew up in Glenroy. Mum's still based in Glenroy. At heart, I'm still in Glenroy. I run a traffic management company full-time. I play in the AFLW for North Melbourne Football Club and take care of my family, so one of many things.
Fantastic. So what's your connection to Glenroy? How long have you been living here?
My connection to Glenroy is my mum has lived here for, I think, 45 odd years in the same house. So we all grew up in the same house. I've lived there my whole life. I lived there my whole life up until I was about 20. So 20 years in the same house is pretty cool. So in Glenroy I have many memories, one being this oval where I played football growing up and with family. So that's probably my connection that I have and will always have to Glenroy. I'm super proud of being a part of Glenroy.
For sure. And did you go to school in Glenroy?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started by going to Corpus Christi in Glenroy, which is a primary school, which I loved. Always got massive love when I drove past that school. And then I went to Code Campus, which was an Aboriginal school, Indigenous school. And then from there I went to Box Forest, which is now Glenroy High.
Great. So growing up, what community services did you use? So parks, libraries, things like that?
Growing up, what community service I used? Pretty much as many as I could. Me and my brothers were always at the park kicking the football. If we weren't at the park kicking the football, we were in the streets. If we weren't in the streets, we were roaming the streets. So that's just what you do as kids, right? So yeah, a little bit everywhere, to be honest.
Did you go to the library?
I'm not a big reader for the library, but I did have to go to the library once because I had to get some books for school, which was cool. And I got a library card, which I never had, and that was cool as well.
Nice. So can you talk to me about the Glenroy Footy Club and why local sporting clubs are so important?
Yeah, so Glenroy Footy Club I started playing at when I was 7 years old, up until 12, and they were awesome. Like when you play footy, this is the biggest thing that I try to explain to people. They're like, you know, what it was like being a kid when you play football? Did the boys make fun of you? Did they accept you? The thing is, when I played football at Glenroy Football Club, or that I've seen in all junior clubs, in particularly Glenroy because I experienced it, is that you know, they don't treat you like a girl, they don't treat you like a boy, they treat you like a footballer, like a person. You know, they accepted me for me, and you know, even with my mum, I think at one stage there was about 12 kids playing football here of us Hopes, and they even let her put on a payment plan and took care of us all. So it's just a really good club and a really good place that looks after their kids.
Awesome. So how would you describe the people of Glenroy? Is there community pride in the suburb?
In the suburb of Glenroy, definitely. Well, I'm proud of Glenroy. Everywhere I go, I talk about that fact that I'm from Glenroy. And not in a, I'm from Glenroy that, you know, anyone thinks, but I love Glenroy. I'd love to buy a house in Glenroy, and I was actually looking to buy a house near Mum's, which she's still in Glenroy, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm definitely a proud person to be from Glenroy. My entire family still lives in Glenroy, and I think I'll be back there when I can afford to buy one.
Yeah, that's it. They're so expensive.
Oh, all houses are expensive.
Yeah, but Glenroy's booming.
It is actually. I've noticed that.
20% in 2 years.
Shit.
Yeah. So what are the positives about living in Glenroy? So obviously there's heaps of sporting grounds, public transport, close to the city, close to the airport. Like, what are the positives about living here?
I think the positive about living in Glenroy is that you've got everything. So, you know, like where my mum lives, around the corner is an oval. Around the other corner is like a massive park with swings for kids. literally 2 minutes away is a Coles, in the opposite direction is a Safeways. You got an amazing cafe, which is Dairy Queen, which does the best breakfast, and like lots of schools. There's lots of different schools. I know a couple of my nieces and nephews go to absolutely different schools, which is weird because they all should just go to the same, but they prefer, my mum chose different schools for them. So there's lots of options, lots of varieties for you. Yeah, and it's just a good area. Like for me personally, I think it's an amazing area.
Great. So what do you and your sister Vinny get up to in Glenroy? So Dairy Queen Park.
Yeah, so me and Vinny, Vinny would love to do everything in Glenroy, starting at Dairy Queen, where she loves to drink coffee and have breakfast, which I do as well. It's my favourite thing. But I do tend to go to most mornings to pick up Mama coffee at Dairy Queen. Coles, because they have a good selection of nuts in the containers. You can take your own nuts. So Coles is probably somewhere we go. I know growing up, as kids, we used to sneak off at night. We probably shouldn't say this. And we used to go down, we used to call it the donut factory, but it's actually called a bakery. And they used to give us donuts. So, they've got a massive bakery. You can go and you can get fresh bread and stuff. So a little bit of everything. And also my dad is not too far from Glenroy, which is at the Faulkner Cemetery. So, there's lots of things we like to do, and most of that revolves around Mum's house in Glenroy.
So do you think the suburb has good community services? So with this one, obviously Glenroy does, but we're wanting more with this community hub. So if you can mention what it does have, but then also what you think there needs to be more of. So that could be just more child and maternal health places, community spaces, open space, things like that.
Okay, yeah, sweet. So I think with Glenroy in the area, it's pretty awesome when you've got lots of parks around and you've got the Glenroy Library and shops and cafes. But I think one of the things that I'm personally connected to that's growing is women's football and women's sports. So I know Glenroy Football Club here didn't have the oval for it to even play women's girls games or women's games. So, I reckon just if we could get not asking to get, but just get more parks. What's more important, or what's better than having active kids, having kids out, playing at parks, making new friends. There's a lot of bad happening, but we can make some good out of it if we have some more environments where kids can go to, and families, of course.
Great. So I'll start you off with your answer with this sort of statement. In 5 years, the population is set to increase by 10% in Glenroy.
Yeah.
So I suppose, not to put words in your mouth, but services will be overstretched. They're probably beginning to be like that anyway.
Yeah.
So why is it important for Glenroy to get a community hub with the population growth of the suburb?
Okay. So you want me to say that? You want me to say that? So what am I saying?
So where am I? In 5 years, the population is set to increase by 10% here in Glenroy.
So in 5 years, the population is set to increase by 10% in Glenroy. Yeah, so in 5 years, the population is set to increase by 10% in Glenroy alone.
And why is it important for Glenroy to get this community hub?
It's important for Glenroy to get this community hub because we want people to come and join us in Glenroy, of course, but we need to have everything accessible. We need to have the grounds, the play centres, even with, like a little baby's kinder, where my mum takes my little nephew. They were overflowing, they didn't have enough room. So, even just like pre-kinder schools, anything that we can do to, bring more people into Glenroy, because we want to bring Glenroy up. So, that the community hub is definitely important.
Great. We might just do that one more time, sorry. So, why should Glenroy get a new community hub?
Why should Glenroy get a new community hub? Because, for me, it's pretty awesome. But with the increase over the next 5 years, it's just going to have more and more families, which is amazing because we want Glenroy to keep growing. But at the same time, we need to make sure we have the facilities for the families to have access to. So, even with pre-kindergarten schools, having more of those, or playgrounds, or, family barbecue areas, doesn't matter what it's going to be, more libraries for kids at school. It could be anything, just having that accessible.
Fantastic. Tara, anything you
need
to add?
I have some questions, if that's all right.
Of course you do.
We're actually sort of working with the leader as well.
Yeah, sweet.
So
I used to do photo shoots for the leader when I was a kid.
Yeah? Yeah, they would have loved it. Oh, look at all of them. They're enough to make a footy team.
Yeah, well, I did a photo shoot for him once and I had like my whole family around in a half circle. Remember that?
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you still have it?
Yeah.
We might have to get it.
Yeah, it was in Glenroy shot.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I did heaps of photo shoots for them just for footy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your is it your cousin who was playing at Glenroy?
I've no, there's heaps of them. There's so many.
She was, what was,
Oh,
she was there last
Melanie.
time. Yeah, Mel.
Yeah,
How's
so
she
she's
going?
just made some state team.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's doing good. Yeah, I don't want to get involved. I just want to enjoy a wave.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no point getting involved. You don't want to try and make a kid professional.
No.
A kid needs to enjoy it, love it, and
She'll
then
resent you.
but then she'll resent a sport. You know,
Yeah.
too many kids. Like that's one thing I'm trying to tell parents. Parents are like, tell my kid to do this. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
your kid needs to have fun. If your kid's having fun, what's more important, right? Because there's so much other stuff happening in the world with bullying in schools and kids going off the wrong way. So if your kid's healthy and happy, that's the most important thing. And if they get to that 18-year-old stage where they want to make it professional, then do that.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. So asking a couple of questions for the leader as well, but we figure
Yeah.
we'll capture them on camera. If you can put into some words to say, like, I grew up in Glenroy, I played my junior footy here, and Glenroy is definitely home, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Unlike Tess, I am just going to put words in.
Nah, that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, so I grew up in Glenroy. Went to school in Glenroy, 3 different schools that is, with a mammoth family. Played football at Glenroy Football Club. Glenroy is home for me, still is, and always will be.
Thanks. And in terms of if you can kind of make a comment to say, and look, we've probably already covered this, but a bit of a leader one, that I guess we liken it to the footy club as a place where people come together.
Yeah.
When you don't play footy, where else do people come together?
Yeah.
And if we can liken it to say, like, the community hub is a bit like what the footy club represents to you.
Yep.
It's a place where people could come together.
Yep. Yeah, so, you know, for me personally, if I'm not on a footy field, I'd want to be somewhere with my family, and the community hub is perfect for that because it, you know, and it can bring people together, and it can, you know, for me, I love being around different people even from different countries or even from different suburbs or just meeting different people, I think, and the community hub is perfect for that.
Great.
That's real. Like, I'm not going to tell you anything that's fake because I actually love learning from people.
Yeah, that's great. Look,
Are you going, Vinny?
that's probably it, unless you wanted to sort of just paraphrase a bit of, like, you know, Glenroy is growing, Glenroy is changing, and we need this support from all levels of government.
Okay.
Type stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so Glenroy is growing and it's changing, and in the next 5 years it's just going to get bigger and bigger, and then so after that. So we just need that support because I'm proud to be from Glenroy. I will always claim Glenroy as my home and that's where I'm from, but I'm passionate about that, and I want that to grow, and I want the suburb itself to have access to the community club, and I want families to come, more and more families to move into Glenroy, but they need to have this community hub. So for me, it's a passion because I love Glenroy, and I don't want people to think of Glenroy as the northern end of Melbourne. I want Glenroy to be Glenroy, where people want to live. So let's make it happen.
That's all I've got.
Awesome.